Hi, friends. Thank you for joining us again on Food for Thought. This is Sunil Chandy, and I am the priest and rector here at Christ Episcopal Church. And this is a ministry. This program that we have, Food for Thought, is a ministry out of Christ Episcopal Church. And as you all know, it was a ministry meant to connect our congregation members through the midst of the COVID-19 pandemic. But it has become a way to connect many people, not only within our region, but also outside of our region. And so we have viewers who are actually part of our congregation who are in all over the U.S. and all over the world, in Australia, in England, in India, in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait. They're all watching and participating in South Africa. And so it's a joy to have this ministry as we connect with one another and as we share this ministry together as a ministry of connection, a ministry of finding hope in the midst of our connection. And so today we're going to actually pre-record this session because we have two wonderful people who are so wise and insightful. And I'm just so grateful to have them in our lives, my life here at Christ Church. And of course, our church members are just grateful to know these two people. They are mother and daughter, and I will read their bio a little bit, but and then look forward to the conversation. But this is the bio that they have here is just a brief bio of the many things that they do in life. Well, the daughter, Valerie Knowles, grew up in the church. She's been a member of the Acolyte Guild for over 10 years, and she is a Sunday school teacher, and recently has been appointed to the vestry, which is an amazing thing. She's 19 years old, and she is the youngest person we have on the vestry. And she's also a university college student. She goes to University of Connecticut and UConn, and so, University of Connecticut. And she is also dedicated to the youth in our congregation. She helps with VBS and most other events. She helps young people develop a relationship with God. And I've just been inspired by her. And I've been inspired by her mother, who also joins us today, Emily Knowles. Emily is a counseling office secretary with Wheeler High School and Wheeler Middle School. She's married for 29 years to Scott, and they have two adult children. Emily, Valerie is the youngest of them. And both of them grew up being active in Sunday school and Vacation Bible School. She's 20-year plus member of Christ Church, taught Sunday school for about a dozen years, focusing on high school students most recently. Emily has been the advisor to my own kids who were in high school when she was their advisor, and they just love her. And she's active in organizing other events for families within the church, treats and Halloween party with the men's club in October, the Advent card exchange in November, and the cookie swap and caroling in December. Most notably, she is the church's coordinator of the Operation Christmas Child box drive for several years now. The idea that we can make a huge difference she said, the idea that we can make a huge difference in spreading the gospel message around the world and offer some love to children in circumstances so different from our own is heartwarming. Hope, and so Emily is doing this wonderful ministry that provides hope and joy to the world. And so, Ben, please bring them both on and let's talk with them. Hi, folks. How are you?
Hi there. Great. How are you?
And so you're speaking from the Wheeler High School right now, or middle school right now, right?
Yes.
It's really good. That I've heard so many wonderful things about the school. It's a great community, and it has great teachers and great people like you, Emily, and Valerie. Did you go to that school also?
I did, yeah. All my life.
All right, and it helped produce the person that you are. Just you're in college right now, UConn, and what's your major?
I'm majoring in pharmacy.
Pharmacy. I'm telling you, it's great. She's amazing. and pharmacy school. And what year are you in now?
I'm a third year, so it's the first professional year.
Yeah, this is a very tough year for you. I know. The third year of every pharmacy year is the beginning of the professional year, and then you have 3 more years after this, right? This year plus 2 more.
Plus 3 more, so it's a 6-year program in total.
Wow, the internet was. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now we
Can you
can.
hear me a little bit? All right, we almost got caught off that, but this is but you're in this really busy major, and yet you're also willing to serve on the vestry, and you do volunteer work in our church, and you're an acolyte for a long time. Tell us why you do this.
Well, the church was really important to me when I was growing up and building my relationship with God, and these acts of service really help to strengthen that. So if I can help pass that along to the younger kids that I'm mentoring, I think that's really important.
I love it. Oh, that's good. And Emily, you've done a wonderful job raising both of these kids, and how do you feel about this community, this church community, and why is it important to raise kids in this type of community?
Oh, the first moment that I walked into that church when we were first married, and actually I think I might have even been pregnant the first time I came into the church, I just felt at home. I had a bit of a basis with the Episcopal Church when I was growing up, and this parish in particular was just a very welcoming, and I just immediately felt like I needed to be there. And so it was important to me to raise the kids in one church, and they became, and we became active, and I've met an awful lot of great people, and it's just been very supportive environment. And it's nice to have that community to be able to rely on when you have sometimes differing opinions or differing views of what's important from the rest of the world.
Yeah. And Emily, I got to tell you that you're also a fixture in this community, and your attitude, your faith, your person has helped nurture this community to be a welcoming community. So, I mean, you were welcomed in this place, but you're part of this welcome experience. And I've known you only for 7 years because I've only been here for 7 years, but I could see that effect. And I want to appreciate the way you've taught my kids, Alex, Philip, and Daniel, and nurtured them, and the countless others that you have done over the years.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really wonderful. So Valerie, let me ask you, like the vestry is it's in the Episcopal Church. It's the governing board. It's a board that actually helps to, in a local church community, helps to make the decisions, the financial decisions, the program decisions of a community. What we could do and how we could do it, and how to engage the world to spread the gospel of Christ. And you offer like a particular unique vantage point because you are 19 years old, and you're a young adult. And in the Episcopal Church today, we're seeing, less and less younger adults in there, and so we want to connect with them. And so, how do you feel? How do you feel right now about being part of that group that's underrepresented? And then how do you help us to represent?
Well, I feel growing up, I've watched my friends kind of leave the church and disassociate with that community. And it makes me feel lonely because I'm still here and all my friends have left. And that's definitely discouraging. But if I can try to get them back or help them see how nice it is to be in this community, I think that would be really beneficial to not only the church but them themselves. And it's definitely going to be a challenge, and I'm not sure how to conquer that challenge, but I have plenty of people that will help me.
Yeah, that's right. I love that attitude, and it's a faithful attitude. I know that in colleges now, I mean, you've got kids who are in this pandemic. They are, some of them are staying at home. Some of them are staying on campus. There must be so much anxiety that they go through right now, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a lot of anxiety. It's very isolating.
Yeah. And more and more the idea of community, of people that they could turn to and talk is might be a good thing for them, I think.
Right, exactly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I'm hoping that maybe we could get some young adults together around, like maybe some pizza, and
Yeah, we're actually planning a little pizza picnic in the park in mid to late August. That's in the works. So.
All right, sounds good. Sounds good. I know that kids like pizza. I remember I used to love pizza in college. That's for sure. Yeah. And so, Emily, what about you? Like, one of the things that you're very much interested in is the Operation Christmas Child
Yes.
box drive. Tell us a little bit about that.
So Operation Christmas Child is an outreach where children across the world in areas where there might have been natural disasters or just other issues where they are don't have the basic necessities, are gifted with boxes that people in the United States would pack. And things within those boxes are things as simple as toothbrushes, pencils, crayons, different age-appropriate box items. And there's full lists that we distribute when we start collecting. But the big thing is that they go out. It's kind of labeled Christmas Child box because that's when we're gathering them, as just prior to Christmas, and the national collection goes on in late November, but they don't actually get there to the locations until the springtime because of the traveling across the world and the processing that has to take place. But the big thing that goes with each one of these boxes is the message of the gospel. And it's reaching out to the gospel to kids who might never have heard it. The stories that we have heard from kids who are now adults who have received these boxes is just, every time I think of one of them, I get goosebumps because they're just amazing, amazing stories. And you know that God is working through these boxes. One of the stories that sticks out is a little girl opened up a box and it had a dress in there. And she was all excited. Now, a dress is not something that you would typically put into one of these boxes. It's not kind of on the list. It's just sort of something that someone felt the urge to put in there. Might be a God whisper, you might say. But she said, now I can go to the wedding. I had a family wedding and I didn't have anything appropriate to wear. And now I can go. Wow. Other kids will take things like a flashlight out of a box and it'll have toys in it. It'll have other things in it. But this one little boy took out a flashlight and immediately put that flashlight in his pocket. And somebody said to him, "Why is that so important?" And he said, "Now I can go to the outhouse without walking in the dark."
Wow.
I mean, these are the types of things that we take for granted, and these kids can't. You start hearing about kids in parts of Africa who they brush their teeth with with bundles of bamboo that get stuck in their gums. I mean, toothbrushes to us are disposable. They're prized to a lot of people. And once you start realizing all of those pieces, it just becomes it becomes very important. And those little pieces of things that we don't think that much about, they realize that somebody else is caring about them, and that God is caring about them through our generosity. And then they do have lessons from the basic lessons of the gospel. So it's a very important, I think, very important mission.
I do too. I think, and some people may disagree with maybe theology behind some of the larger organizations that might support Operation Christmas Child. But at the end of the day, it's doing some good for people. It's especially, I got to admit, and people will know, India is an economic powerhouse now, but there's still parts of India that are very, very poor, and places like India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, these type of things, when you get them, they become, important for the people. It adds value and dignity to their lives.
Mm-hmm.
I remember my father telling me once that, when he came back from America, he would have people who were lined up around our house, and all they were waiting for was just like a razor,
Mm-hmm.
or an old shirt that we might have, a shirt that we didn't use, just something to pass on to them, and.
Mm-hmm.
And when we do, it helps them to live life and feel better. And and of course we did a lot of other things to help our community. But I mean, even just a toothbrush, or
Mm-hmm.
a razor, or a dress,
Mm-hmm.
that could just add so much meaning to a person's life.
Right.
One
of the other huge things is pencils.
Yeah.
Because an awful lot of the communities, the kids have to take their own pencil to school. And if they don't have a pencil, they can't go. So they'll actually take a pencil and tie it in a string to their belt buckle, or their to them, so that they know they can go to school. So oftentimes we'll pack not just one pencil, but we'll pack a box of pencils in a box, so that not just that child, but his or her siblings can go to school as well, or have that. So, again, things that we take for granted. We all have hundreds of pencils sitting around the house, and they're so needed. So,
well, and I know the effect on our congregation too is that, around Christmas, when you do this drive, we have these huge number of boxes that many people love to contribute to. I mean, they just love it. And it's as if we're somehow helping change the world for the better.
Mm-hmm.
That's the feeling I get out of it. Now, I know some people may have some controversy about the organizing company. I think it's Franklin Graham who might organize it. But again, I think for me, the idea is, what is God doing through the situation that we have? And if God is improving the lives of people around us, then we really have to somehow take note and continue to do that improvement.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You know what, Emily and Valerie, you guys are a joy. I mean, really. I mean, so Emily, this is what Valerie does to me, and she's a smart girl, right? Every time I come into the sacristy, and I'm either nervous or something like that, and then I go, so how's it going, Valerie? And she goes, this wonderful, and she has this beautiful smile on her face, this beaming smile, and even if it isn't going well, she says wonderful, right? And I really appreciate that. It brings joy. And Valerie, you were raised really well. You were raised by people who love you, your parents, and they raised you in this community of faith. And now you are a person of faith. And you're passing on that faith to another generation. And God bless you in this. And God bless you, Emily, and your husband and the whole family.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Are there any
God bless.
are there any parting words of wisdom that you'd like to say?
If I could put a little bit of a plug in,
Okay.
because we don't actually get going on the Operation Christmas Child drive for a little bit, for another month or two, but with the school shopping sales about to hit in August, anybody who wants to pick up school supplies and hold on to them, or now is a great time to be able to get pads, pencils, crayons, all that kind of stuff a lot less expensively when those sales hit. Staples will be having that sale.
All right. Well, God bless you both. Thank you again.
Thank you.
Just a wonderful group of people. I mean, just Valerie and Emily, her mother, just amazing. And they represent two people out of this great community that we're a part of. Our time is now ending together. Our time together is ending. And so let's end this time with a prayer. This is a prayer written by Bishop Thomas Brown of Maine. Again, a shout out to Bishop Thomas. You are welcome to come, and I have to send an invitation out to you, Thomas Brown of Maine. I know that you've been here to do a wedding here at Christ Church, but we'd love to have you on this Food for Thought program because we are using the prayer that you wrote every day for the last 18 months or so. And so we want to thank you, and so we want you to have you on the show. And then, of course, we have a shout out to Bishop Michael Curry. And Bishop Curry, you're welcome to come and join us too. We love hearing about your vision and the way of love, the way of love, your witness for God in our Episcopal Church. And so we hope that you too will come and join us. And of course, this is just a personal favorite. I hope that The Rock is watching, Dwayne Johnson. We'd love to have you on as well. I don't know if you're Episcopalian, but I do like your attitude about life and facing challenges. And I think you would have some really wonderful and insightful words for us to hear. But let's end together with this prayer. The Lord be with you. Let us pray. Jesus Christ, you traveled through towns and villages, curing every disease and illness. At your command, the sick were made well. Come to our aid now in the midst of the global spread of the coronavirus. Heal those who are sick with the virus. May they regain their strength and health through quality medical care. Heal us from our fear, which prevents nations from working together and neighbors from helping one another. Be present with those in authority who are making hard decisions. Support the medical professionals, emergency responders, counselors, and caregivers. We ask this all in your name, Jesus. Amen. Join with me in the Lord's Prayer. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread. Forgive us our trespasses as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not in temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom and the power and the glory forever and ever. Amen. Friends, go in peace to love and serve God. Spread the light and joy of Christ to the world around you, the light of hope and peace, because the world needs it right now.
Thanks for watching. Did you know that you can join Christ Church from anywhere in the world? If you're feeling connected to what we're doing, email us today at communicate@christchurchwesterly.org.